Welcome back. Today, we're diving headfirst into the absolutely brutal world of quant trading interviews. And we're going to look at a powerful new AI tool that might just be changing the entire game for anyone trying to land one of these jobs. So picture this. You're in the hot seat at a top trading firm, and they hit you with this. This isn't some textbook question, folks. This is the real deal. This is the kind of problem you'd get hit with at a place like Citadel or jump trading. We're talking immense pressure right from the get-go. All right, so first things first, let's set the stage. You have to understand just how competitive this world is. We're talking about some of the most sought-after jobs on the planet, and the fight to get one, well, it's more intense than ever. And this quote right here, it really paints a picture. You're not just going up against other smart grads. No, you're competing with Ivy League PhDs, people who've been laid off but have, 10 or 15 years of solid experience under their belt. The talent pool is just incredibly deep. And that brings us to a really crucial point. The old way of studying for these things, it's basically broken. You can't just memorize answers from a book anymore. The firms, they've wised up. They're using dynamic interviews now, designed to see how you think on your feet. Rote memorization? Totally useless. So the big question is, how on earth do you prepare for something like that? Well, this is where a new generation of AI tools comes into the picture, offering a pretty powerful and, surprisingly accessible secret weapon. And get this, what's really wild is the cost. We're talking about AI models that can spin up these incredibly realistic interview questions for 1 penny. A single penny per query. I mean, that level of accessibility, it's a total game changer. And look, this is not about drilling old stale questions. The AI can generate challenges based on what happened in the market in the last 24 hours. So you're practicing with problems that are as fresh as the ones you could literally face in an interview this afternoon. Okay, let's get into the nitty-gritty. We're going to do a deep dive into the first core technical area, system design, specifically how you design the kinds of ultra-low latency systems that are the absolute backbone of modern trading. So the AI might spit out a question like this one. And notice, it's not just write some code. No, this question forces you to think about the whole shebang, high-level architecture, what hardware you're running on, and the nitty-gritty low-level code optimizations all at the same time. And then look at the kind of answer the AI gives back. It's just expert-level stuff. It ticks every single box an interviewer would be looking for. It's talking about lock-free data structures to avoid slowdowns, kernel bypass networking to get insane speeds by talking straight to the hardware, memory pooling. I mean, this is a complete technical blueprint for a high-performance system. All right, let's switch gears. Next up, probability and statistics. The classic brain teasers that are a hallmark of pretty much every single quant interview. So yeah, the AI can throw you these classic puzzles, to make sure you've got your fundamentals down. But where it really starts to shine is when it pushes past the pure theory and gets into practical, applied stats. Because this is where it gets real. This isn't just a math problem. This is about validating a trading model, which is something a quant does every single day. The question is, can you prove that these amazing results aren't just, a statistical accident? That the model isn't just overfit to the past? Okay. Now, let's circle all the way back to that very first question we started with. It's time to talk about data structures, the kind that are built for one thing and one thing only, pure raw speed. And the AI gives you this fantastic breakdown. It's not just saying don't use stdmap. It explains exactly why it's too slow. It gets into things like cache misses from how memory is allocated. It's a performance killer for HFT. And then it tells you why custom-built structures that keep data close together in memory are just way, way better. Heck, it'll even get into super specific, deep computer science topics like the ABA problem. It's this really subtle but totally critical bug that can pop up in those lock-free systems we were just talking about. The level of detail you can get is, well, it's just incredible. Okay, so here's the magic trick. This is how it all comes together. The real power here isn't asking standalone questions. It's that the AI can create an entire dynamic scenario based on a trading strategy it literally just invented. So just imagine this for a second. The AI isn't pulling from some pre-canned list. It's looking at today's market news and, poof, it invents a brand new trading strategy from scratch. For example, it might cook up an Ethereum short fade strategy based on real-time data. And this is the strategy logic they'd hand you in the interview. You've got maybe a minute to process all this because you're about to have to defend every single one of these steps.
And then comes the final punch. The AI instantly generates a whole new set of questions that are tailored specifically to the strategy you just saw. Now you're being grilled on market microstructure, on risk management, on execution, all of it, but in a context that didn't even exist 5 minutes ago.
So, when you put it all together, what does this actually mean? What's the big takeaway for the future of these kinds of technical interviews? Well, one thing's for sure, the bar has definitely been raised. This isn't some magic cheat code. It's a preparation tool that forces you to have a much deeper, more dynamic understanding. You just can't get by on memorization anymore. The future is all about applying what you know to brand new problems, and this is how you can actually practice doing that. And that leaves us with one final, pretty interesting thought. If anybody can get their hands on expert-level knowledge and practice scenarios for basically nothing, does the true test of a great candidate change? Maybe it's not about what you already know anymore. Maybe it's about how fast you can learn and adapt when you're under pressure.